Spelling. Spelling is very important to know when you are doing writing, especially if you are doing academic writing. Also, if your papers, examinations, assessments, assignments are also giving a criteria to be marked for spelling, then it becomes more important. Sometimes it has been noticed that some people do not really care much for the spellings in the writing. Then it is the job of the teacher to tell the students that spelling is not an important factor in this piece of writing. But mostly we do care for spelling and we do want the spelling to be correct. Sometimes when we are writing on the computer offers another spelling, which is of course could be an American spelling, and it has a little difference than the spelling that is used in the British English. There's no harm in that, because the teachers should consider both the spellings to be correct. Because if they are higher level students or secondary school students and they are using the spelling which is on the computer, and if they are especially sending their assignments online, then they might have a spelling which is different to the British English spelling. It could be an American spelling which comes very often to be corrected on the screen. So the teachers should be aware of both the spellings in that case, and there is no harm to consult a dictionary if the teacher is confused. There is no harm in asking a colleague or anybody around who can verify whether the spelling is correct or not. And it is also essential for the teacher to inform the students that both these spellings would be accepted. Sometimes while writing a text or writing anything, for example, an email or a letter or an essay, there are so many spelling mistakes done by the student that the whole paper becomes red of that, and it loses the content that it actually is meant for. So that seems to be very unfair sometimes, especially when the teachers are marking an examination paper, which is actually going to decide the future of the student. So it becomes very important in that respect, and sometimes I think it is quite unfair because there are so many spelling mistakes on the paper that the student loses all the marks. Although he may have the thinking skills and he may be able to write a good piece of writing if he was given help in the spellings. So basically, I have a suggestion here for the marking criteria. For the marking criteria, it should be divided, the rubric of the marking should be divided for different segregated areas in the writing. For example, if I have 10 marks to give in a paper, the total marks are 10, 2 should be for the spelling. So that means if there are many spellings, the student is going to get 0 for 2. But if he has an idea and the idea carries 5 marks in total, then if he is showing some ideas there, then he should be marked out of 5. Maybe there he would get 4 out of 5. So that means the student is not going to lose all the marks, and the assessment will be correct. Because basically, if you are giving the student 0 out of 10, because there are so many mistakes, because you have not designated that if he is having 10 or 20 spelling mistakes, you are going to mark him out of 2 only. You are not going to mark him out of 10. And then if he has some ideas and you are marking him out of 5 and you give him 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, then you are assessing him in a correct manner, because you are telling that this student has ability to think, he has ability to write creatively, but he lacks his spelling expertise and therefore he is losing marks there. So this sort of judgment is helpful for the student. This feedback is helpful for the student. So usually I notice as an examiner that the teachers, they do not look at the content because they find that there are so many spelling mistakes. There's no point of looking at the content. Spelling is very important and it should be mentioned in the rubric. How many marks does it carry? What is the weightage of it? But the content should be looked at as well.